Okay, so how can you simply migrate your CRM data from Sheetify CRM 3.0 over to Sheetify CRM 4.0? As you can see, we have a blank template here. And essentially what we're doing is navigating back over to Sheetify CRM 3.0 and migrating this Google Sheets database over to our new Google Sheets database. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is navigate over to contacts and leads. As you can see, we're currently on contacts and leads. Then simply navigate up to the first row under full name and then click here. Then what we want to do is navigate across and locate sales status, and then come down to the last row of data and then simply hold shift and left click, and that's going to highlight all this data over here. Then go ahead and click on edit, come down, click on copy. Then navigate over to the new Sheetify CRM 4.0. This is our new Google Sheets CRM update. And on the first row of data, which is the third row, we're going to click here, then navigate up to edit, and then come down to paste special, and then click on values only. And that's going to paste in those values. Now, before you do this, you want to make sure that your settings in Sheetify CRM 3.0 are the same as in the Sheetify CRM 4.0. This is because your type, priority, and sales pipeline, the stages in your sales pipeline, you may have entered different data. Navigate over to settings, click here, and you just want to make sure that your settings match up. So make sure you've added the correct data under type, source, your team, priority, and sales status down here. This is going to be important when copying the data from Sheetify CRM 3.0 over to 4.0. Okay, so let's navigate back over to contacts and leads. And now what we're going to do is click out of here. And now we're going to add our sales data. To do that, simply navigate back over to Sheetify CRM 3.0, then navigate across, and then locate value. Simply click on the first row of data, then simply navigate across to invoice status and come down to the last row where you entered data. So as you can see, it's this row across here. So I'm going to navigate across, hold shift on your keyboard, and then left click again. So remember, the only data that we're not pulling in is the currency sign in here. This will automatically appear inside of 4.0. Okay, so again, what we want to do is click on edit and then copy, and then navigate back over to our Sheetify CRM 4.0 template. Then simply click under value on the third row and navigate up to edit again, then paste special and values only. And as you can see, that data has been entered. Now, one thing to note under invoice sent and invoice status, the formula may not work. So as you can see, if I click here, the sent is not generating. If I click here, the paid is not generating. But if I come down to a row that I haven't copied and pasted from the previous Sheetify CRM, you can see that the formula is working. Now, if this has happened to you, all you need to do is click here, then highlight this, and we want to copy this formula. Simply navigate up to edit and then come down and click on copy. Then you need to find all your send invoices. So for example, these three here, and then navigate up to edit, paste special, and then formula only. And as you can see, the formula should work now. I'm happy with that. And you want to do that to these two. Simply click on edit, paste special, and formula only. It's a bit of a tedious process, but we need to do that for invoice sent and invoice status. Again, if I come down here, you can see that this formula is working. So what I want to do is click on edit, copy, and then click over here, and then navigate over to edit, paste special, and formula only. And you can see that this formula is now working. So this can take a little bit of time. This is because we've made so many changes with Sheetify 4.0 in terms of the structure and formulas that we do need to make these micro changes. However, for future updates, the structure is going to be the same, so migrating data into future versions is going to be incredibly easy. Now, another activity that will require some manual action that doesn't allow for a simple copy and paste is the statuses under the sales pipeline. However, if you like, you can leave these statuses as they are. Although, if you've watched our tutorial for Sheetify CRM 4.0, you now know that we track all our conversions, all our orders and transactions under orders and transactions. And to send data here, you can manually add the data, or if we navigate back over to contacts and leads, If you recall from our tutorial, if we click on, let's say, details discussed, and that's going to allow us to send all this sales data over to transactions. This means we can manage all our lost and won deals inside of transactions. All that data will be sent over to transactions. So again, if you like, you can keep all your sales data the same on this dashboard, but if you want to send your data over to transactions, then it will require manual input for your won deals as well as your lost deals, and the last status change for won and lost. When you're manually adding your lost and won data over in transactions, you can see I need to navigate up here and change this to the date that I initially had for this lost transaction. Again, the only reason this is slightly tedious is because we're migrating from 3.0 to 4.0, which has a completely new interface and structure. The following versions are going to be a lot easier and cleaner. So just keep that in mind if you want to move all your lost to orders and transactions. Again, if you like, you can keep your old sales data in this interface if you like, and just send new data over to orders and transactions. Next, the only other thing that we need to migrate is client tasks. Simply click on client tasks, and we want to add our data in here. Simply navigate over to Sheetify CRM 3.0, then click down here and locate client tasks. And all we need to do here is click on the first row of data under client tasks, and then navigate across all the way to last status change. Click on Shift and then left click, and then simply navigate up to edit, copy, and then navigate back over to Sheetify CRM 4.0. Click on the first row, which is row 3, then navigate up to edit, paste special, and then values only. And as you can see, all that data has been added. Now you will need to change the completed because we have a new completed data set in task. We're going to have to change that to completed here. Now bear in mind when you change this, the client status date will change over here to the current date. So you will need to manually input that data when you make changes to completed. Again, like I mentioned, there will be a small amount of manual connections between your data, especially between Sheetify CRM 3.0 and 4.0. Future versions, it's going to be incredibly simple just copying and pasting your data because the structure is exactly the same across future versions. However, that is how you can migrate your data from one Google Sheets to another from our Sheetify CRM 3.0 to 4.0.